Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is has been friend zoned a little bit. Russell Wilson has been put on the back burner. Russell Wilson has kind of been like, I don't know what to do with my hands anymore. Russell Wilson is like, I just want to play football. Giants are like, hey, let me get back to you after I talk to Aaron Rodgers. Pitcher was like, hey, let me talk to Aaron Rodgers first, and we'll get back to you. The Jets were like, sorry, let's talk to Justin Fields, and we'll get back to you. And Justin Fields signed. Oh, sorry, we don't want you. Russell Wilson will be visiting the Cleveland Browns. He's actually visiting with the Cleveland Browns as of right now. Right? As of right now, Russell Wilson is talking to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns did not fly him out there. Another team did not fly him out there. He flew out there on his own dime. So, guys, Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns. Does it make sense? When you look at the Cleveland Browns, they were just in the playoffs just 2 years ago, right? They were in the playoffs just a couple years ago. Hell, last season, they even still had a shot with like their fifth string quarterback yet again, right? But as of right now, Kenny Pickett is the only healthy quarterback on the Browns roster. That's right. The quarterback that they just traded for from the Philadelphia Eagles is the only healthy quarterback on the roster as of right now. Now, the Browns still do have the second overall pick in this year's draft. Let's not forget that Shadur Sanders, James Frank wants Shadur Sanders to Cleveland really bad. Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, potentially all whatever, but as of right now, they have the second overall pick. Guys, let's not forget that the Cleveland Browns have had very, very, very little quarterback success ever in their NFL lives. Every time the Browns have a little bit of quarterback success, they ship them out of town. Matter of fact, the quarterback graveyard is a real thing in Cleveland. Quarterbacks go to Cleveland to die. When you get drafted by Cleveland, you're not going to have a future. When you get traded there, you're not going to have a future. If you want to go there by your own free will, you're not going to have a future. Let's just be honest. Now, the Cleveland Browns should not let Russell Wilson leave the facility without a contract. Simple as that. Russell Wilson should be loved and appreciated and done everything right in Cleveland. Simple fact of the matter is, though, it does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. What is the point of trading for Kenny Pickett when you had the opportunity to go out and get Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Trey Lance or other quarterbacks out there, Sam Darnold, for basically free? I mean, not free, but not giving up draft capital to bring in a washed-up quarterback. Now, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying he is good either. But the simple fact of the matter is, this to me does not make sense. Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns does not make sense unless he's going to be a backup. Clearly, Russell Wilson wants to start in the NFL. Clearly, Russell Wilson still thinks he has it. Clearly, Russell Wilson thinks he can lead a team to the playoffs, if not an AFC championship, if not a Super Bowl. Guys, Russell Wilson is done in the NFL. It's just, it is what it is. He's had a nice run. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He has a couple Pro Bowls. He's AFC championship or NFC championship, right? NFC West crown, a lot of playoff wins, a lot of losses. He's had a pretty decent NFL career. Hall of Fame career, probably not, but still pretty damn good. Russell Wilson should walk away while he's still ahead just a little bit. Russell Wilson should just walk away just while he has some type of notoriety still, right? Do not be like those old players that hang on too long, right? Hang on a little too long. So, guys, what do you think? Russell Wilson to the Cleveland Browns. Does it make sense? Jim Powell says Wilson can hold a clipboard for Geno Smith. Jim, that's what you got Aiden O'Connell for. That's why you got AOC. Trey Lance could come into like town too, right? Old Man River says, yes, Russ still has gas in the tank. Now he has to prove himself again. You can have all the gas you want in your tank, Jim. You can have all the you can have premium fuel in your gas tank, Jim. Or sorry, John, Old Man River. But if you're on a black ice, on a hill, at a stop sign, trying to go with bald tires, that gas tank's going to run out pretty quick. You can floor it, you can give her hell, but you're just going to spin those tires and that's what's going to happen in Cleveland for many years. Cleveland Browns have the worst general manager, worst front office, worse history, worse everything. The only thing good about Cleveland is the sun doesn't shine and it doesn't get hot. That's the only thing good about Cleveland. You can have all the gas you want, premium, unleaded. You can even have diesel fuel. It's not going to help in Cleveland. Not going to help. Jim Powell says it's a 2.5-hour trip from Pittsburgh to Cleveland. He may just commute. Spoiler alert, Jim. He's still living in Denver in Mark D's house, and Mark D is still opening wide and taking Russ fully in his mouth. Alpha Rob says the Browns had their franchise guys to build around Baker Mayfield, and they blew it. They blew it because they thought the grass was greener on the other side. Like, hey, Deshaun Watson wants out of town. We'll give him $500 million. We'll give him a little bit of this. We'll give him a little bit of that, right? Over here on the old TikTok, Gooberlich's Gerber says, me personally, I agree with you on the Steelers, or he will retire. I think he's meaning about Aaron Rodgers, right? I agree. Old Man River says Russell Wilson should go to Cleveland because they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract. Old Man River, they did restructure Deshaun Watson's contract. They did free up $35 million in cap space. However, they're still $16 million over the cap. With the recent signing of Myles Garrett, they're back over the cap. So, yeah. They're doomed, baby. They're doomed. Jim Powell says, if Kenny Pickett was the guy, Wilson wouldn't have made it in Pittsburgh. So, Jim, you've watched a lot of football in your life, and you know how a football game works. And you know how sometimes at certain places you just feel loved, you fit better, and you just have a better about you, right? I feel that Kenny Pickett wasn't very loved in Pittsburgh by Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin was kind of forced, kind of coerced into drafting Kenny Pickett, the hometown hero, hometown kid. We need a quarterback. Kenny Pickett's there, best available guy. Maybe let's just go get him, right? I don't think Kenny Pickett was ever really wanted. He wasn't that big body, big armed quarterback. I think Kenny Pickett in a new system where he's actually wanted and loved. I'm not saying Cleveland is it, but I'm saying Cleveland is going to if Kenny Pickett can win 3 games in Cleveland, he will be the most winningest quarterback in Cleveland since Joe Flacco in his little 3-4 games in a row, right? The Browns want a decent quarterback to rally around. And if Kenny Pickett can be a decent quarterback, they're going to rally around him and make him feel loved. And I think that's all he needs at the end of the day. Speaking